What if the deepest connection you'll ever experience doesn't begin with words, doesn't begin with touch, but begins in silence? What if love is not something you chase, but something that recognizes you when you stop running? Have you ever noticed some people don't fall in love with you, they remember you? Stay with me, because when you listen to this fully, you will realize something powerful. You are never meant to beg for connection. You are meant to be felt, and once you understand this, you will stop questioning your worth and start moving like someone who already knows it. 1. A soul connection is recognition, not attraction. Most people think connection begins with desire, with excitement, with the heart racing and the mind imagining a future before the present has even settled. But a soul connection does not arrive like that. It does not rush in shouting, "Look at me." It walks in quietly and says, "I know you." Attraction wants to possess. Recognition simply remembers. You feel it when someone looks at you and something inside relaxes, not because you are impressed, but because you are no longer pretending. This is not the kind of connection that asks you to perform. It does not require you to be more charming, more mysterious, more perfect. It happens when you are most yourself, even when you feel unfinished, uncertain, or quietly human. That is why it feels unfamiliar at first, because we are taught that love should feel intense, dramatic, overwhelming. But recognition feels gentle. It feels like coming home after a long journey and realizing nothing needs to be explained. A soul connection does not scan you for flaws. It does not evaluate your value. It does not compare you to others. It sees you as whole, even before you see yourself that way. And this is why it can feel uncomfortable. Because recognition exposes the truth. You were never missing anything. You notice it in small moments, in how conversation flows without effort, in how silence does not feel awkward, in how you do not feel the urge to impress or prove or convince. You simply are, and somehow that is enough. This is not chemistry that burns fast and disappears. This is resonance, slow, steady, deep. It does not awaken your insecurity. It quiets it. It does not make you chase. It makes you pause. And that pause is important, because when someone recognizes your soul, the ego does not know what to do. It has lived on striving, performing, and seeking validation. Recognition threatens that pattern. It removes the game. That is why a soul connection often arrives without fireworks, but leaves something far more powerful behind. A sense of truth. You are not drawn toward them. You are drawn inward. And the more you stay present, the more you realize this connection is not asking you to become someone else. It is asking you to stop becoming. And in that stillness, something shifts. Because once recognition replaces attraction, excitement gives way to something deeper, something calmer, something that does not need to prove itself. And that calm is where the next sign quietly begins. 2. He feels calm around you, not excited. Excitement is loud, calm is honest. Excitement needs stimulation, newness, drama, unpredictability. It feeds on highs and lows. Calm does not demand anything. It simply rests. When a man feels a soul connection, he does not feel the urge to impress you. He feels the urge to breathe around you. His nervous system softens. His thoughts slow down. His shoulders drop, not because he is bored, but because he is safe. This kind of calm is rare, and because it is rare, it is often misunderstood. People say, there's no spark. But what they really mean is, there is no chaos. A soul connection does not shake your ground. It stabilizes it. He may not always know how to describe it, but he will feel it in his body. He sleeps better, he listens more, he becomes present instead of restless. And this presence is not accidental, because when someone feels truly seen, the mind no longer needs to stay alert for danger. Excitement keeps you awake. Calm allows you to rest. That is why he may linger longer than expected, why conversations stretch without urgency, why he does not rush to label or define. There is no fear of losing the moment, because the moment feels complete. This calm does not mean lack of desire, it means desire has transformed. It is no longer about taking, it is about being. And being is powerful, because when calm replaces excitement, the masks begin to fall. There is no need to exaggerate stories, no need to act confident, no need to dominate the space. He does not feel smaller around you, he feels more grounded. And grounding changes people. It brings them back to themselves. But calm has a consequence. When the noise fades, the ego becomes visible, and that is when the deepest transformation begins. Because calm does not flatter the ego, it humbles it. And when the ego softens, something even more profound starts to unfold. 3. His ego softens in your presence. The ego survives on tension, on comparison, on control. It needs resistance to feel important. So when someone enters his life and removes that resistance, the ego has two choices: defend itself or dissolve. A soul connection does not challenge the ego directly. It does something far more effective. It makes the ego unnecessary. Around you, he does not feel the need to dominate the conversation. He does not interrupt to prove intelligence. He does not exaggerate success or hide uncertainty. Because there is nothing to protect. Your presence does not threaten his worth. It reflects it back without judgment. And this reflection is disarming. He may become quieter, not withdrawn but thoughtful. He may admit things he has never said out loud, not because you demanded honesty, but because honesty feels natural. The ego softens when it no longer feels observed, evaluated, or tested. It softens when there is no performance. And with that softness comes vulnerability. Not dramatic vulnerability, not emotional displays, but a gentle willingness to be real. He listens differently, responds more slowly, speaks with intention. This is not weakness. This is maturity awakening. Because when the ego loosens its grip, something deeper takes the lead. Awareness. And awareness recognizes what the ego never could. That connection is not about winning or losing. It is about meeting. Meeting without armor, without strategy, without fear. And here is the quiet truth. When his ego softens around you, he is not losing power. He is returning to it. Because real strength does not need to announce itself. It does not need to compete. It stands calmly and remains. And once this happens, the connection no longer belongs to the mind alone. It begins to move through something deeper. Something that cannot be forced, cannot be rushed, cannot be explained, only felt. And from here, the connection starts revealing itself in ways that cannot be ignored. 4. He listens without trying to fix you. Most people listen with an agenda. They listen to reply, they listen to advise, they listen to correct. But when a man feels a soul connection, his listening changes. He does not interrupt your pain with solutions. He does not rush to make your sadness disappear. He does not turn your feelings into a problem that needs repair. He simply listens, not because he is passive, but because he understands something deeply. Your emotions are not broken. In his presence, you notice the difference. Speak slowly, not because you are careful, but because you feel heard even before finishing your sentence. There is no pressure to explain yourself perfectly, no fear of being misunderstood, no need to justify why you feel the way you feel. He listens with his whole body. His eyes stay with you. His attention does not drift. His silence does not feel empty. It feels supportive. This kind of listening is rare because it requires humility. It requires setting the ego aside and saying, "Your experience matters more than my opinion." When he listens like this, you feel respected without being praised, validated without being rescued. And something inside you relaxes, because deep down, you never wanted someone to fix you. You only wanted someone to stay. Listening without fixing is not weakness. It is strength that does not need control. And when someone offers you this kind of presence, your words begin to carry more truth. Your voice becomes steady. Your emotions find their own balance. And slowly you realize this connection is not rushed, it is patient. Because patience changes how time behaves. And when patience enters the space, time itself begins to feel different. 5. Time feels different when you are together. When time feels heavy, we count it. When time feels light, we forget it. A soul connection alters time without effort. Minutes stretch without boredom. Hours pass without notice. And silence does not feel like absence. It feels full. You may sit together, doing nothing special. No deep conversation, no intense emotion. Yet something feels complete. There is no urgency to fill the space, no pressure to entertain, no anxiety about what comes next. The present moment is enough. This is not excitement pulling you forward. It is presence holding you watch. Air, you are. When time slows like this, it is because the mind has stopped racing ahead. There is no need to plan the future, no need to replay the past. You are here, and he is here. That is all. This is why soul connections often feel quiet at first, because they do not distract you from yourself. They bring you back to yourself. You notice small details, the rhythm of breathing, the softness in his voice, the way your body feels safe instead of alert. Time does not disappear, it deepens. And in this deepened time, there is no rush to define the relationship, no need to label, no pressure to promise, because the connection is not moving towards something, it is already something. And this shared stillness reveals another truth. When time loses its grip, silence becomes meaningful. And how someone treats silence tells you everything about the depth of the connection. 6. He respects your silence. Silence makes most people uncomfortable. They rush to fill it with words, with jokes, with noise. But when a man feels a soul connection, he does not fear your silence. He honors it. He does not ask what's wrong just because you are quiet. He does not demand explanations. He does not take your stillness personally. He understands that silence is not distance. Sometimes silence is clarity forming. In his presence you are allowed to pause, to think, to feel without translating emotions into sentences. Your silence is not misunderstood as rejection. It is recognized as processing. This respect is subtle but powerful, because silence is where truth lives before it becomes language. And when someone gives you space there, they are trusting your inner world. He does not interrupt your quiet moments with insecurity. He does not pull you out of stillness to reassure himself. He stays grounded, and that grounding allows you to return naturally when you are ready. Silence in a soul connection does not separate, it deepens. It creates room for authenticity, for emotional honesty without performance. And in that space, you feel free to be fully human. Not entertaining, not explaining, not proving, just present. This is when connection moves beyond words, beyond attraction, beyond emotion. It becomes awareness, meeting awareness. And once silence is respected, something sacred begins to unfold. A connection that no longer needs sound to be felt. Because from here on, even without speaking, something between you continues to grow. 7. He becomes more honest with himself. A soul connection does not begin by changing how he treats you. It begins by changing how he treats himself. When he feels this kind of connection, something inside him grows quiet enough for truth to speak. Not dramatic truth, not painful confession, but a gentle, undeniable awareness. He starts noticing his own patterns, the habits he never questioned, the emotional walls he once called strength. around you. Pretending feels unnecessary. And when pretending falls away, honesty appears. Not because you demanded it, not because you asked difficult questions, but because your presence does not punish truth. He may speak about his fears without dressing them up. He may admit confusion without shame. He may say, "I don't know," and feel no need to hide behind confidence. This honesty is not loud. It is not announced. It shows up in small moments, in pauses before he answers, in the way he reflects instead of reacting, in how he chooses clarity over comfort. A soul connection creates a mirror that does not criticize. And when a man looks into that mirror, he sees himself more clearly than before. Not just who he is, but who he has been avoiding. This can feel unsettling, because honesty removes excuses. It removes distractions. It removes the stories we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. Yet something about your presence makes this discomfort safe. He does not feel judged for his flaws. He feels invited to grow beyond them. And this is the quiet miracle. When someone becomes more honest with themselves, they stop projecting their confusion onto others. They stop blaming. They stop defending. They start choosing integrity. And integrity changes how someone moves through the world. But once honesty takes root inside him, it does not stay hidden. It begins shaping his choices. And one of the first things it touches is how he protects what matters. 8. He protects the connection, not his image. Most people protect their image, how they look, how they are perceived, how they are admired. But when a soul connection is present, image loses its grip. What matters now is not how things appear, but how they are. He does not use the connection to impress others. He does not expose it for attention. He does not risk it for validation. He becomes careful, not fearful. Careful with words, careful with actions, careful with energy. Not because he is controlling, but because he understands the value of what is growing. A soul connection is fragile in the early stages, not weak, just sacred. And sacred things are not handled roughly. He does not involve unnecessary opinions. He does not invite chaos where peace exists. He does not test the bond to see if it survives, because he is no longer trying to prove anything. His image can be questioned. His reputation can be misunderstood. But the connection that he protects, you notice this in subtle ways. He keeps boundaries without being asked. He avoids situations that could create confusion. He chooses respect even when no one is watching. This is not performative loyalty. It is quiet responsibility. He understands that real connection, though, does not need witnesses. And because he is not busy managing appearances, he becomes more present, more intentional, more real. Protecting the connection means he is willing to stand in truth, even if it costs approval. And that is rare, because choosing depth over display requires inner strength. But there is another shift that follows. When someone stops protecting their image, they also stop chasing shallow desire. And that is when attraction transforms into something far deeper. 9. He feels drawn to your depth, not your beauty. Beauty catches the eye. Depth holds the soul. When a man feels a soul connection, his attraction changes direction. He still sees your beauty, but it no longer leads the experience. What pulls him closer is your presence, your awareness, your way of being in the world. He is drawn to how you think, how you pause before reacting, how you hold emotion without being ruled by it. Your depth feels nourishing, not overwhelming. He does not feel the need to consume you. He wants to understand you. This is important because surface attraction burns fast. Depth unfolds slowly. He becomes curious about your inner world, your values, your silence, your strength, not to analyze you, but to meet you. And in this meeting, something shifts. He no longer feels the urge to impress you physically or materially. He feels the desire to be aligned, to be steady, to be worthy of the space you hold. Your depth does not demand effort, it inspires it. He feels calmer, not hungrier, grounded, not restless, because depth does not excite the senses alone. It anchors the spirit. And when someone is drawn to your depth, they are not afraid of time. They are not rushing toward outcomes. They are not trying to own or define you. They are willing to grow into the connection, slowly, naturally, honestly. This kind of attraction does not fade. Is familiarity. It deepens, because the more he knows you, the more there is to know. And once depth becomes the source of attraction, the connection is no longer fragile, it is rooted. And from roots, something enduring begins to rise. 10. He feels seen without being exposed. Most people are seen in pieces. The part they show, the part they protect, the part they hide behind strength or humor or silence. To be seen usually feels dangerous, because being seen often means being judged, misunderstood, or reduced to a label. But when a man feels a soul connection, something rare happens. He feels seen, without feeling exposed. You notice it in how relaxed he becomes around you. He does not brace himself. He does not tighten his voice. He does not carefully edit his words. He senses that you see him clearly, yet you are not trying to analyze him. You notice his strength, but you are not threatened by it. You notice his vulnerability, but you do not weaponize it. And because of this, he does not feel the need to hide. He does not feel peeled open. He feels understood. There is a big difference. Being exposed feels like standing under harsh light. Being seen feels like standing in warm sunlight. One reveals to control. The other reveals to connect. In your presence, he does not feel reduced to his past. He is not trapped by his mistakes. He is not frozen by who he used to be. He feels allowed to be human. And that allowance creates trust. Not the kind of trust that says, I won't hurt you, but the deeper kind that says, I don't need armor here. You may notice he shares things without drama, not because they are small, but because he no longer feels the need to protect them. This is how you know the connection is real. When someone feels seen without being exposed, they stop performing strength and start living truth. And truth does something beautiful. It slows everything down, because when you no longer fear being revealed, there is no need to rush. And that is where the next sign quietly appears. 11. He is not afraid of slowness. In a world that rushes everything, slowness feels risky. People hurry love, they hurry labels, they hurry certainty. But when a man feels a soul connection, he does not panic about pace. He is not afraid of going slow, not because he is unsure, but because he is grounded. Slowness means he is not chasing an outcome. He is not trying to secure you quickly. He is not trying to lock the future before the present has unfolded. He understands something many miss. What is real does not need speed to survive. Around you, he does not feel pressure to escalate. He is comfortable letting moments breathe. Conversations unfold naturally. Silence is allowed. Connection deepens without being forced. This slowness is not hesitation. It is respect. Respect for the bond. Respect for your space. Respect for his own inner timing. He knows rushing is often driven by fear. Fear of loss, fear of competition, fear of uncertainty. But slowness comes from trust. Trust that what is meant to grow will grow. Trust that depth cannot be manufactured. Trust that time reveals truth better than effort ever could. You may notice he does not demand answers. He does not push for clarity before clarity is ready. He does not fill quiet spaces with anxiety. Instead, he stays present. And presence changes everything. Because when someone is not afraid of slowness, they are not using you to ape loneliness. They are choosing you consciously, moment by moment. This pace allows the connection to root deeply, not on fantasy, but on reality. And something else begins to happen. When slowness is honored, roles become unnecessary. Masks fall away. And that is when the connection becomes unmistakably real. 12. He stops playing roles around you. Roles are exhausting. The strong one, the confident one, the mysterious one, the one who always has it together. Most people play roles because they think love requires performance. But when a man feels a soul connection, the stage disappears. He stops acting. He does not exaggerate masculinity. He does not hide softness. He does not pretend to know everything. He becomes simple, not dull, but honest. Around you, he does not feel the need to impress. He does not curate his personality. He does not switch versions of himself. Who he is on his best day and who he is on his tired day begin to look the same. This is rare, because authenticity only appears where safety exists. He laughs freely. He admits confusion. He shares thoughts without filtering them for effect. There is no audience here, just presence. This is how you know he is no longer trying to be chosen. He is allowing himself to be known. And being known requires courage, because without roles, there is no shield. Yet somehow with you, that feels okay. He does not fear that honesty will cost him the connection. He senses that honesty is what sustains it. This is not dependency. This is alignment. When roles dissolve, connection becomes effortless. There is nothing to maintain, nothing to uphold, nothing to prove, just two people meeting as they are. And from that meeting, something quietly stabilizes. Something that does not shake with mood or circumstance. Something that does not disappear with time. Because once roles are gone, what remains is real. And what is real does not fade. It prepares the ground for something even deeper to take root. 13. He feels peace, even in uncertainty. Most people search for certainty before they feel peace. They want answers, labels, promises that remove all doubt. But when a man feels a soul connection, something unusual happens. Peace arrives before certainty. He does not need to know where this is going. To feel grounded in where it is, this is important. Because fear always demands guarantees. It asks, what are we? Where is this heading? How will this end? Peace asks none of that. Peace simply says, I am here. In your presence, he does not feel anxious about the unknown. He does not try to force clarity too early. He does not pressure the connection to define itself before it is ready. Uncertainty does not feel like danger to him. It feels like space. Space to grow, space to discover, space to let truth reveal itself naturally. This does not mean he is indifferent. It means he is centered. He understands that rushing clarity often destroys depth, that forcing answers can silence wisdom, that some things must be lived before they can be named. So he stays present. Even when he does not fully understand his feelings, he does not panic. Even when the future feels open-ended, he does not close his heart. This peace is not passive, it is grounded awareness. He trusts the process. He trusts that if the connection is real, it will unfold without pressure. And if it is not meant to last, forcing it will not save it anyway. This calm acceptance changes everything. Because when someone feels peace in uncertainty, they stop trying to control outcomes. They stop gripping. They stop testing. They stop playing emotional games. They allow. And allowance creates safety. You feel it in how he responds instead of reacts, in how he lists, tends instead of assumes, in how he stays instead of demands. Peace in uncertainty is not the absence of desire. It is the absence of fear. And fearlessness allows love to breathe. But something deeper happens when peace replaces fear. When someone is no longer afraid of losing, they no longer try to own. And that shift opens the door to the next sign. 14. He does not rush to possess you. Possession is driven by fear. Connection is guided by respect. When a man feels a soul connection, he does not feel the urge to claim you quickly. He does not try to define you as his before understanding who you are. He does not rush to lock you into a role. Partner, girlfriend, future, not because he is unsure, but because he is aware. aware that real connection cannot be owned, it can only be honored. He does not confuse closeness with control. He does not mistake intimacy for entitlement. Instead, he gives space, not distance, space. Space for you to be yourself, space for your independence, space for your rhythm. This is rare, because many people rush possession to quiet their insecurity. They want reassurance through ownership. They want certainty through control. But a soul connection does not operate that way. He does not need to cage what he values. He trusts what is aligned will not escape. So he allows you to choose him freely, every day, not because you are trapped, but because you are drawn. He respects your boundaries without seeing them as rejection. He supports your individuality without feeling threatened by it. This tells you everything, because when someone tries to possess you, they see you as something to hold. When someone honors you, they see you as someone to walk beside. He does not rush milestones to prove seriousness. He does not demand commitment to soothe fear. He lets connection mature, like a tree that grows strong roots, or reaching upward. This patience is powerful, because it says, I want you whole, not hurried. And in that freedom, you feel safe to stay, safe to open, safe to be honest, safe to grow. This is not emotional distance. This is emotional maturity. And maturity knows something simple, yet profound. What is forced breaks. What is chosen lasts. When someone does not rush to possess you, they are not afraid of losing you. They are confident in the bond. And confidence like this creates something rare in relationships. A connection that feels steady, even when nothing is guaranteed. And from this steadiness, something deeper prepares to reveal itself. A bond that remains present, even when distance enters the room. 15. He becomes more present in life. A soul connection does not only change how he feels about you, it changes how he shows up everywhere else. You begin to notice it quietly. He listens more to people, to moments, to himself. He rushes less, he reacts less. Not because life has become easier, but because he has become more awake. Presence is not about attention alone, it is about alignment. Before, his mind may have lived in the past, replaying regrets, rehearsing old conversations, carrying wounds that were never given space to heal, or it lived in the future, planning, worrying, chasing outcomes that never quite arrive. But around a soul connection, the mind begins to rest in the now. He eats more slowly, he notices the tone of conversations, he feels his own breath again. These are small things, but small things reveal big shifts. Presence is a sign that something inside has settled. Because when a person no longer feels internally scattered, they stop needing constant stimulation. They no longer distract themselves with noise. They no longer numb themselves with busyness. They start living. You may notice he becomes more intentional with time, more careful with words, more honest about what truly matters to him. He no longer fills his life with things that drain him. He lets go of habits that kept him disconnected from himself, not traumatically, naturally. Because real connection reminds us of who we are when we are not running. And presence is contagious. Around him, others feel calmer. Conversations slow down. Moments feel fuller. This is the quiet power of a soul connection. It does not isolate two people from the world. It brings them deeper into it, more grounded, more aware, more alive. He does not become obsessed with you. He becomes aligned with life. And alignment has a beautiful effect. When someone becomes present in life, they begin to carry that presence even when you are not there. And that is where the next truth begins to reveal itself. 16. He feels grounded after leaving you. Some connections leave you anxious when they end. You replay conversations. You question words. You wonder what you should have said or done differently. But a soul connection does the opposite. After being with you, he does not feel confused. He feels grounded, not euphoric, not emotionally overwhelmed, just steady. His thoughts are clearer, his emotions are settled, his body feels calm. This is important, because what truly nourishes us does not leave us depleted or disoriented. It strengthens us quietly. After leaving your presence, he carries a sense of balance with him. He does not rush to fill the space you leave behind. He does not chase distractions to replace the moment. He reflects, he integrates, he feels more himself, not less. This grounded feeling tells you something powerful. It means the connection is not draining his energy. It is organizing it. It is not pulling him out of his life. It is anchoring him more deeply into it. This is why soul connections do not create addiction. They create stability. He does not feel dependent on your presence to regulate his emotions. Instead, your presence reminds him how to regulate himself. And that is rare, because many relationships operate on emotional highs and lows. They excite, then exhaust. They pull close, then push away. But this connection leaves him steady. He moves through his day with more patience, more clarity, more intention. And even when distance exists, physical or emotional, the sense of connection does not collapse. It remains quietly. This groundedness also means something else. He does not fear separation, not because he does not care, but because the bond does not vanish in absence. It lives within him. He does not need constant contact to feel secure. He does not spiral when you are unavailable. He trusts the connection because it has already proven itself internally. And trust like this is deep, because it is not built on reassurance, it is built on experience. He has felt the peace. He has felt the clarity. He has felt the grounding. And once someone feels that, they do not forget it. They do not chase it desperately. They honor it patiently. And that patience prepares the heart for something even more profound. A connection that remains intact, even when time and space try to test it. 17. He honors the bond even in absence. Most connections exist only in proximity. When two people are together, they feel close. When they separate, the feeling fades. But a soul connection does not behave this way. Even in absence, the bond remains alive. When he is not with you, he does not forget how the connection feels. He does not become careless with it. He does not treat distance as permission to disconnect. Instead, he carries the bond within him. Not obsessively, not anxiously, but respectfully. You notice this in how he speaks about you when you are not present, in how he makes decisions that still honor the space you hold in his life, in how he does not cross lines simply because you are not there to see. This is important because many people are loyal only when watched. They behave well only in proximity. They respect only what is visible. But when a man feels a soul connection, his integrity does not depend on supervision. Absence does not weaken the bond. It reveals its quality. He does not use distance to detach emotionally. He does not replace depth with distraction. He does not numb the space with meaningless attention elsewhere. Instead, absence becomes a place of reflection. He thinks of you not with longing that hurts, but with warmth that steadies. Your presence lingers, not as memory alone, but as influence. It shapes how he responds to the world, how he treats others, how he treats himself. He honors the bond by not cheapening it. He does not compare you to others. He does not reduce the connection to convenience. He does not speak lightly about what feels sacred. This is how you know the connection is not situational. It is internal, and internal bonds do not break easily. They do not disappear when communication slows. They do not dissolve when life becomes busy. They do not weaken when silence appears. Because silence, in this case, is not absence. It is trust. Trust that what is real does not need constant reassurance, and that trust prepares the heart for the deepest realization of all, that the strongest connections are not held together by effort, but by truth. 18. He knows the connection cannot be forced. At some point, something becomes very clear to him. This connection cannot be pushed, it cannot be rushed, it cannot be demanded, and strangely, this realization brings peace. Because force belongs to fear, and this connection has already moved beyond fear. He does not try to secure outcomes. He does not manipulate circumstances. He does not pressure timing. He understands something simple yet profound. What is real unfolds on its own. If it is meant to grow, it will grow. If it is meant to deepen, it will deepen. If it is meant to last, it will last. Not because he holds tighter, but because he holds truer. This understanding does not make him passive. It makes him present. He shows up fully without trying to control results. He gives without keeping score. He stays open without clinging. And this is the highest form of connection, because force always comes from lack of trust, lack of security, lack of self. But surrender comes from wholeness. He does not fear losing you, because he knows that anything gained through force was never truly held. He allows space for life to move naturally. He allows the bond to breathe, and in doing so, he aligns with something greater than desire, with truth. This does not mean he cares less, it means he understands more. He understands that real connection is not owned, it is recognized. It is not built by effort alone, it is revealed through presence. And when someone reaches this understanding, they stop asking, how do I keep this? They start living in a way that honors it, quietly, steadily, authentically. And here is the final truth that settles gently in the heart. A soul connection does not demand certainty. It does not beg for control. It does not fear distance or time. It simply exists, and in existing, it transforms everything it touches. And once you feel that kind of connection, you do not chase it. You become still. And a soul connection is not loud. It does not demand proof. It does not chase reassurance. It arrives quietly, like truth does. And when it appears, nothing needs to be explained, because something ancient inside both of you already understands. So remember this: the one who is meant to fear you will not ask you to become smaller, louder, or different. They will simply arrive and recognize what was always there. And when that happens, you will not wonder if it is real. You will become still and know